Hello there, and welcome to part 4 of this 9-part series on backpacking. So in this part I will talk about clothing and just share some my experience with clothing for backpacking. So as a start, I'll just mention I recommend having a nice nylon belt, a strong nylon belt, so that can be seen as a part of your first aid kit. So this nylon belt can be used as a sling. It can be used to put together a stretcher if you have an injured person who can't walk on their own. So just having a nice nylon belt is, I consider to be a very good thing. And then I would recommend always bringing a pair of thin gloves, just what you have. This can be running gloves, bicycle gloves, so you probably have a pair of gloves of some kind. So a pair of gloves can be nice for those chilly evenings and nights. This is a beanie in a cool color. Just having, again, for those colder nights or evenings, a beanie can be a very nice thing to have access to. And you can use it while sleeping as well. And then I have a buff that can give you some sun protection around your neck. Also adds that extra insulation layer around your neck. And then I would recommend bringing some kind of hat as well with a brim, so you can get some shade over your eyes even when it's very sunny. And then I'd say a pair of sunglasses is essential as well. And then I'll talk about the layering system. So the idea is that you have 3 layers. So you have an inner layer, you have a mid layer, and you have a shell layer. So instead of having just a few thick layers, then you have several thinner layers. So I'll just get into what I would wear as an inner layer. So as the absolute inner layer, I have my underpants. So this is just a pair of very simple nylon boxer briefs that allows you to sweat, and they protect your skin so that you avoid chafing, which can be very unpleasant. And then I have my socks, and I often wear 2 pair of thin woolen socks. I think that works well. If it's very warm, I might just wear 1 pair, but woolen socks is nice. And then I have so this is a netting woolen shirt, which is very nice and warm, and it does stay warm even when it's sweaty and wet. And the netting allows the moisture to evaporate very quickly, so this dries very quickly. A good thing about wool is that it doesn't smell for a long time, at least. Synthetics are very nice, but they do tend to become quite smelly quite fast. So I generally prefer wool to synthetics. And I have the same netting, wool netting, but in leggings. So I don't always wear these, but if it's a chilly day or it gets chill in the night, it's very nice to be able to put on some nice warm woolen leggings. And then I often wear, this is just a thin woolen t-shirt. So if it's a warm day, I'll just wear this, and I can also use it just as a little bit of extra insulation if it's a chilly day. So that was the inner layer. And then for the mid layer, so the mid layer is supposed to give you some insulation and also some protection from the environment. So on my upper body, I have this is also wool, not that thick. So this is nice and warm. There are pockets, so I can have a snack, I can have gloves, my hat, something like that in that pocket. It does have a built-in hood, as you can see here. So this is a quite functional piece of equipment as well, and nice and warm. Then I have my pants, hiking pants. So I've had these pants for 10 years, I think, and they are absolutely indestructible. So a good pair of hiking pants last a long time. There are thigh pockets, which I think is really nice. Again, you can have easy access to some small stuff. So these are partly made from cotton, but that works very well and it dries very fast. They are not zip-off, so I generally don't wear shorts, but I can just roll up the legs and then they become like a kind of shorts. So, but at least for the conditions you find in Norway and the temperatures we have here, this works very fine, I think. And then you have the shell layer, the outer layer. So I carry a pair of rain pants like this. Yeah. So the shell layer should be windproof and waterproof, at least to some extent. So it will give you protection from the environment and keep the warm air inside. So it also has a function as for insulating. And then this is my jacket. This is just a very light, thin jacket. Yeah, not much to say about it. It's windproof and waterproof. So yeah, a good jacket. And then for the insulating layer, so having an extra piece of clothing that you can put on when in the evening, or when you're in the tent, or in the morning when it's the cold part of the day, it's nice to have something extra to put on. So it depends a little bit on the hike I'm on, but I have 3 options. So I have a nice fleece like this. This is nice and warm. It's a bit thicker than the other layers I carry, but this is nice and warm. Or I can choose, this is my good old woolen sweater. I've had this for 20 years, I think, and I just love it. And it's full of holes, but I keep on repairing it. So this sweater has been with me on so many hikes. This is a very valued piece of clothing for me. And then from the outer season, so the shoulders of the warm season, I have a thin woolen jacket. So this is really nice. I use this on winter trips as well. So it's surprising how much heat, or how insulating a woolen, even a thin one, is. And then I always carry some extra clothing for sleeping in, and also for emergencies. So I don't carry that much, but I do have 2 extra pairs of thin woolen socks. If my socks are wet when I get in the tent, I often wear these as for sleeping socks. And then an extra pair of underpants. I think that's nice. And then I have extra leggings, very light. I also use these for sleeping in, and it is something extra you can put on if it's extraordinary cold day. So and I can borrow them out to somebody else as well. And finally, I have a thin long-sleeved shirt here. This is nylon. This is synthetic. But it's very warm, and I use this for sleeping in sometimes, at least. And it's also an extra layer you can put on if it's very cold. So that's it. That's basically what I wear while backpacking. I find this works very well for 3 seasons. In the wintertime it is a little bit different. I might do a video on clothing for winter hiking and skiing, but that will be at a later time. So I think I'll just stop here. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video in this series, and that will be on sleep systems. Have a good day.